8 years ago, Saudi Arabia promised a mirrored city stretching 170 kilometers through the desert, housing 9 million people with 0 cars.
Today, roughly 2 kilometers of it exist. Construction has stopped, and the internal price tag has grown to 9 times the country's entire economy.
After 8 years of construction, less than 2 kilometers of a planned 170-kilometer structure actually exist.
And in September 2025, construction stopped completely. As of this video, it still hasn't restarted.
This is the line, Thun, the centerpiece of Saudi Arabia's NEOM project.
Encased entirely in mirrored glass, designed to eventually house 9 million people with 0 cars and 0 carbon emissions. It was supposed to be the boldest proof that a country built on oil money could build something the rest of the world had never attempted. What follows is the story of how that vision collided with physics, money, and time. And what's NEOM was unveiled in 2017 as the flagship of Saudi Arabia's Vision 2030 plan, an attempt to diversify the kingdom's economy away from oil.
The line was always the most dramatic piece of it. 2 parallel mirrored walls, each 500 meters tall.
No architecture firm on Earth had ever built anything at this scale or in this shape. That was, in many ways, the entire point.
The pitch was audacious, even by Megaproject standards. 2 mirrored towers, facing each other,
Roughly the distance from Los Angeles to San Diego. Inside, vertical neighborhoods stacked hundreds of meters high, connected by high-speed rail that would supposedly get residents from one end of the city to the other in 20 minutes. No cars, no roads, no emissions, just a single continuous structure.
Building a continuous mirrored structure 170 kilometers long introduced problems no engineering team had ever solved at that scale.
The mirrored glass facade, meant to reflect the desert sun and cut cooling costs, instead created serious heat gain concerns for the structure itself.
Engineers could make a 2-kilometer test section work.
Scaling that same solution across 8 to 5 times that distance, through mountains and shifting sand, was a different problem entirely. The original estimate for the line was around $500 billion for the entire NEOM development. As construction progressed and engineering realities set in, that number didn't just grow, it exploded.
Internal audit obtained by financial journalists put the fully realized cost of the line alone at close to $9 trillion.
Saudi Arabia's public investment fund, which bankrolls the project, has already recorded billions of dollars in write-downs tied to its giga projects.
In September 2025, construction on the line was suspended.
Contractors were pulled back, work slowed on site, and as of early 2026, that suspension has not been lifted. Reports indicate Saudi leadership has privately accepted that the original 170-kilometer vision will not be built as announced. That whatever eventually gets finished will be, in the words of one report, far smaller than the plan unveiled in 2017. For a project built almost entirely on the promise of scale, that admission alone marks a fundamental shift. Strip away the renderings and animations, and here's what physically exists in the desert today. A scaled-back initial section, roughly 2 to 2.5 kilometers long.
Some structural cores and early sections of mirrored paneling are in place,
representing somewhere between 1% and 2% of the original 170-kilometer vision.
The broader project has no confirmed funding and no active construction timeline beyond that first sliver.
8 years and untold billions of dollars in, the line exists mostly as a 2-kilometer proof of concept sitting inside a 170-kilometer promise. The line wasn't scaled back in isolation. Trojena, NEOM's planned year-round ski resort in the surrounding mountains, has also been downsized. The 2029 Asian Winter Games, which Trojena was built to host, have been postponed indefinitely.
Saudi Arabia's sovereign wealth fund has been quietly redirecting capital away from NEOM's most speculative pieces and
international construction firms that once competed fiercely for NEOM contracts have seen that work shrink.
Officially, Saudi Arabia describes what's happening as phased delivery, a strategic pause not a cancellation.
Engineers are reportedly redesigning the signature twin towers to bring costs down before any further construction resumes. With others see it as proof that a 170-kilometer mirrored city was never structurally, financially, or logistically realistic in the first place. Whether the line ever becomes anything close to what was unveiled in 2017 now depends less on ambition and more on oil prices, construction economics. 8 years ago, Saudi Arabia promised a mirrored city stretching 170 kilometers through the desert, housing 9 million people with 0 cars.
Today, roughly 2 kilometers of it exist. Construction has stopped, and the internal price tag has grown to 9 times the country's entire economy.
It may be the largest gap between vision and reality in the history of modern megaprojects.
Production note: every frame in this video has been transformed through a multi-stage editing process. From GIF conceptualization to VO3 generation, human creativity leads every step. This channel is dedicated to original AI craftsmanship and follows all 2026 YouTube monetization rules.